Surprise, surprise, Dallas Cowboys fans and people outside of our home have found reasons to be upset at our owner once again as he makes a somewhat surprising move in the wake of a future Hall of Famer retiring. In addition to this, CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons are both uber invested into not only their bodies, but this upcoming season, and what this means for the rest of the team. Let's get right into it, but first, be sure to be on the lookout for our live broadcast here on the Attack on Cowboys channel. I will be live broadcasting the NFL draft from my channel. I got a whole setup ready for you guys. We're going to be doing a live cash giveaway during the live stream exclusively on the Attack on Cowboys YouTube channel. So be sure not to miss the Attack on Cowboys live draft show, as this is the only draft show where you can win some money, y'all, just from knowing about your Cowboys and just for chilling with us during the draft as we give you our analysis, breakdowns, updates, and full coverage dedicated specifically to the NFL draft, man. But without further ado, let's get right into today's episode. Yeah, CD, I'd be making that face too if I was spending as much money as you are on your body maintenance, bro. We're going to get to that, though, y'all. We're going to get to that. The first piece of news I want to cover today, though, is people are upset. People are upset because Dallas Cowboys offensive lineman Saahdiq Charles is wearing number 77, which was last assigned to left tackle Tyron Smith, who we now know has signed a one-day contract with the team and has retired as a Dallas Cowboys, and he wore that number 77 number throughout his entire career. Now, I'm going to be real. This is a legit thing to kind of raise your eyebrow at, because you're like, wait a minute, man. Jerry, you were just in a press conference with Tyron Smith talking about how you wish you were able to win a championship with him, and he's one of the best to ever do it, future first ballot Hall of Famer and all this stuff. And then literally hours after the man's press conference is over, we find out that a brand new offensive lineman who was just retired last season, by the way, in his own right, is now wearing the number 77. Now, people feel like this is disrespectful to Tyron Smith. People feel like this is a smack in the face, especially since the guy literally retired the same day that this number was given out. And I understand that sentiment. I completely understand. And if you are not aware of the Cowboys' traditions in history, then you would probably feel a way as well. But I got to ask you something. Do we expect players not to wear the number 77 when players have worn the number 73? And even Zach Martin himself was given a number 70 that also belonged to a Hall of Famer in his own right, Rayfield Wright. 73 belonging to Larry Allen. If we actually take a look at all the players that wore the number 73 after Larry Allen, there's actually a pretty extensive list. Larry Allen wore it from 1994 to 2005. The next person to put that jersey number on was only 5 short years later in 2010 with a guy named Jeremy Clark, who literally was off the team the same exact season. After that, Mackenzie Bernardo put the number on, and he wore it for 3 seasons here. And then we had Joe Looney also wearing the vaunted number 73, which represents one of the best offensive linemen in NFL history, probably one of the most terrifying offensive linemen in NFL history. So I present that to you guys because it's like, okay, yes, it's a little bit of a slap in the face. It happened quicker than it's happened pretty much in the past because, like I said, it took 5 years before someone wore that number after Larry Allen wore it. For Rayfield Wright, he wore it from 1969 to 1979 as far as the number 70. And the next person to wear that jersey was Howard Richards in 1981. So literally just 2 years later, after what we now know as a Hall of Famer, we saw someone don the same number he wore. And what you have to realize about the Dallas Cowboys tradition is they just have the Ring of Honor, and they have sacred jerseys like the number 88. And, you know, there's certain jersey numbers that are sacred. 22. They haven't really given 22 out to a lot of guys. Or Troy Aikman's number, they haven't really given that one out, right? But besides that, there are not a lot of guys that they're just holding jersey numbers for. In fact, you'll see that there are situations where you'll likely see jersey numbers put up in their Ring of Honor more than one time. The number 94 is going to be put up in their Ring of Honor more than one time, y'all. So I just got to make sure that we have that clear. Yes, it's a little bit jarring to see someone get assigned Tyron Smith's jersey number immediately after he retires, and we know he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's like, do you just withhold that number from guys? Do you kind of make that into like an 88 club thing? But at the same time, it's like, hey, Not really. I think the number 70 is probably closer to becoming like one of those 88 club type of deals, because now you have Rayfield Wright and Zach Martin who are wearing that jersey number, so maybe they'll become a little bit more selective with who wears it next. But, I mean, yeah, you can honestly take that one either way. I'm just providing the facts behind the situation for you guys to make up your own mind while being informed. If you still want to be pissed, by all means, go ahead, man. The next thing I want to touch on, man, is apparently CeeDee Lamb is spending about $1.3 million a year to maintain his body and health. This was an article published on complex.com by Joshua Espinoza on April 17th. And CeeDee Lamb said, quote, "I'm not going to lie, it's a lot of money," he confessed. "Every 2 weeks is $50,000. There's 52 weeks in a year. That's your number." That's right, the 26-year-old athlete spends about $1.3 million a year to ensure his health and fitness are on point. I don't know why it says $3.1 million. That's kind of really, really bad math. But Lamb said a large chunk of that sum goes towards his recovery routine, which includes everything from ice baths and steam room sessions to red light therapy and hyperbaric chambers. Yep, there it is, the hyperbaric chamber, man. A lot of the top quality athletes, LeBron James and a lot of the best athletes in the world use that a lot. The list could go on. He said, "What I do for a living, it's very physical, and some short weeks are more lethal than your regular 7-day schedule. So I'm just staying on top of that and always trying to replenish the body and stay hydrated, keep my muscle functioning up, and try to get a lead on my opponent." CeeDee said it's about waking up and making the right decision at all times, just trusting your work, trusting in everything that you believe in. Did you make better decisions than you did the day before? And that's honestly how I live my life. So I really relate to CeeDee Lamb as it pertains to that perspective. I feel like as long as you can wake up every day, you do what you know is the right things, man. Deep down in your heart, you know when you're doing the right things. You know when you handle the business you're supposed to handle. As long as you do that every single day, man, you leave the rest in the hands of the ether. You leave the rest in the hands of God, leave the rest into the ether, and you got to be able to lay your head down every day knowing that you did your best, man, and just wake up and do the same thing every single day. That's how I go about my days. That's why it's like no days off, because it won't sit right with me. It won't sit right with me if I feel like I didn't handle my business the way I should have in that particular period of time. So I completely understand that. Now, the other part of this is Micah Parsons is once again, he's hard at work, and I wanted to bring this up because, man, there was a lot of attention given to Micah Parsons last offseason when he was doing the whole Bleacher Report thing in China and wrestling sumos and doing all that other stuff. And while it's only April, it's plenty of time for him to still end up doing some foolishness at some point while it's only April. I gotta say this, man. We haven't seen Micah Parsons making all these different public appearances and stuff like he was making last season or last couple off seasons. We haven't seen him just putting his hand in a lot of stuff. The most we've seen of Micah is he'll chirp in here and there on Twitter. But, man, outside of that, the dude's been working. The dude's been working. If you talk to anybody close to him, then you know he works all the time. He's doing two-a-days throughout the season, throughout the summer, throughout the offseason. So the dude is working. He has locked into a different level this particular offseason based off the events that happened last year and based off the fact that he's excited because he knows he has a new opportunity in front of him, kind of taking over as the leader for the defensive side of the ball for this franchise. But love to see that everybody's locked in, man. It really feels like everyone is locked in. It feels like the entire team is motivated. There's a new energy about everything going on around the team with the players. If you speak to anybody around the building, they will tell you the energy is tangible. And I just hope that that's infectious, and I hope those guys are able to carry that with them throughout the offseason so they can have excellent offseason programming and throughout the actual season. And I just want to see how this thing ends up. I have a lot of faith in Brian Schottenheimer. I'm not going to lie. I think Brian Schottenheimer is going to do a damn good job, and this could honestly end up being one of the better decisions that Jerry Jones has made in a very long time as it pertains to hiring a Brian Schottenheimer, and you can already kind of see the fruits of that right now, man. This is a very, very motivated version of the Cowboys that we've been seeing. If you've been keeping up with my channel, I've been uploading for you every single day. If you've been keeping up with my channel, then you will see what I'm talking about as it pertains to the motivation level and just kind of the different factors that are involved with how the Cowboys are approaching their offseason programming. But either way, again, reminder, be sure to tune in to my live stream, my live broadcast of the NFL Draft. I'm going to be providing you analysis, breakdowns, reactions, all that good stuff. We're going to have different game and trivia and stuff going on throughout it, and cash giveaways, man. Be sure to mark it on your calendar to tune in to Attack on Cowboys on YouTube during the NFL Draft on day 1, 2, and 3. I'll see you guys on the next one. Now, back them Cowboys.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen, 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 listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.